Hi there, welcome to Wear Waji's channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to draft 13 trending necklines and their standard measurements. So let's get straight to it. Please do not forget to subscribe. When drafting your neckline, most times it's advisable to use a shorter wideness when you're working with a longer depth, okay, and a shorter depth when you're working with a wider width. Okay, so I'm going to be making use of a basic bodice for this tutorial. I have a very detailed tutorial on how to draft a basic bodice attached in the description box, so you can watch it and get a very good understanding of how I drafted this pattern. It is really detailed and easy. So I'll be starting with our round neck by marking 3.5 inches or 4 inches from the center front all the way in a very slanted manner, like you see me do. It's quite easy. Mark 3.5 inches or 4 inches all the way, okay, and then you can use your curve rule or even your free hand to connect these lines, like you see me do. After connecting these lines, it's time to cut out, and this is what you'll be having. Your round neck is ready. Up next is our U neckline. Go on to mark 3.5 inches as your wideness or your width, and then come down by 4.5 inches. It's all right to use 3 inches as your width, but the standard is 3.5 inches. On that line, I'm trying to square it out, so I'm marking the 3.5 inches I marked above before connecting these lines like so. So after squaring this out, I'll be using my curve rule to just make a small curve at that edge before going on to cut. It's okay to use your free hand as well, and when you're done, your U neck is ready. Up next is our square neckline. Standard is 3.5 by 4, okay, or 4 by 4 since we are creating a square. So when you go on to square these lines out by repeating your width on that lower part so that you get a very straight and accurate line. When you cut these lines out, your square neck is ready. Up next is our scallop neck. For this neckline, I'll be using a wideness of 4 inches and a depth of 7.5 inches. You can use 8 inches. So I'm going to square these lines out like so and measure from the top 2.5 inches, and then from that point I'm going to mark another 2.5 inches and square the lines out like you see me do. Now on that lower line, I'm going to mark the midpoint, which happens to be 2 inches, and then use your curve to first create a curve from the second line like this, and then down to the center front, okay, and then you are good to cut. So I'm trying to make my curve very smooth before cutting out. When you cut out, your scallop neckline is good to go. All right. For the sweetheart neckline, mark a wideness of 3.5 inches and a depth of 7 inches and square your lines out. After doing this, from the top, measure 4.5 inches and make that line visible. Then you make use of your curve rule to create a curve from that 4.5 inches marked inwards to the center front like so. When you cut out, your sweetheart neck should look like this. Up next is the Queen Ann neckline. For this, I'll be making use of 3 inches by 7 inches. I always remark my 3 inches on that point so that my lines are very accurate. After doing this, get the midpoint of that length, okay, mine is 3.5, and square out that line for visibility. Now on that center marked out, come out by 1.5 inches. You can make use of 1 inch and then connect to the top in a slant manner, okay, like this, and then use the curve rule to connect that from that point to the center front. It is as easy as this. Then you're good to go. Cut out gently, and then your Queen Ann neckline is ready. Okay, please hit the like button and subscribe at this point if you haven't, and leave your questions and comments in the comment section. For the V neckline, use a wideness of 3 inches and a depth of 7 or 8 inches depending on you, and then connect this line. You can use a very straight line like this, but I prefer to use a curve, which makes the V very visible and relaxing on the body. It depends on you. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the first line so you see what the normal V looks like, or the other one with a curve. Then you choose your choice, the one that suits you. Okay, so after cutting this out, this is what the straight V-neck looks like, which is beautiful, but I like to make mine a little like this. Okay, so it all depends on you, but this is your V-neck, and there you go. Up next is the plunging neckline. For the plunging neckline, we're making use of 3 by 12 inches, okay, depth of 12 inches, and then I'm going to do the same thing by connecting my lines in a slant manner. After doing this, you can choose to make that curve on your plunging neckline to make it more relaxed and beautiful on your chest or on your bodies. Okay, so I'm making my curve very, because I don't want it very long, and then you're okay to cut out. When you make your normal straight line, this is what your plunging neckline would look like. Or if you decide to give it a little curve, it appears even more beautiful. Okay, so that is it for the plunging neckline. The asymmetric neckline has 2 parts. This is the first type. You mark 3 inches by 6 inches, a depth of 6 inches and a wideness of 3 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to just notch that 3 inches because I'm about to open it up. Okay, after notching your 3 inches wideness, you open up your body, so your front pattern. Okay, so I'm going to come down on one side by 6 inches, and I'm squaring these lines out so that you see what I am doing. Now from one part, I'm going to make a slanted line like so and cut out this part. So this is the first type of asymmetric neckline. For the second type of asymmetric neckline, you'll be opening up your pattern and coming in by 3.5 inches on the first part, and then coming in by 2 inches on the shoulder line, and coming down by 6 inches on that particular line. Go on to create a slanted or a slanting line like so, and then connect the lines and cut. After cutting out, the second asymmetric neckline should look like this, really beautiful. For the one shoulder neckline, open up your fabric and then come in by 3.5 inches on one side and mark. Now on the armhole of the other part, come down by 4 inches and use your rule to create a curve. You can decide to make any shape of your choice. A curve or a straight rule would do. When you cut out, your one shoulder neckline is ready, and then we are moving on to the wrap neckline. For your wrap neckline, you open up your bodies like so. From the center point, mark 3.5 inches, come down by 7 inches, mark that point, and on the other side of your fabric, you have to come up by 2 inches or 3 inches depending on you. Now connect these lines carefully to each other. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. Connect the first point to this middle point and then down to the side, and then your wrap neckline is ready. Please do not forget to cut this in 2 pieces, okay, so that it can overlap and your front bodies is good to go. Now the 13th neckline here is a strapless neckline. Go on to mark your chest line, which happens to be 8 inches here. Then mark the center point of your armhole and then connect these lines in a curve manner to the center front. Okay, using any desired shape of your choice. This is me making that one. I can decide to make mine like this depending on you. Okay, just use your curve rule to design as you choose. Okay, after doing this, you're good to go. Cut out, and then your strapless neckline is good to go. I hope you found this video very helpful. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel and leave your comments in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.